This week on My Classic Car, we'll travel to Ocala, Florida to check out some very special Continental Mark IIs. These were all owned by members of the Ford family and were custom built at the factory. Very nice. Plus, we'll check out some new car care products for your ride.
I love this.
Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, and welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're in the Sunshine State in Ocala, Florida to check out a few more of the cars in the collection of Jim and Rick Schmidt. And this time we're going to focus on one of my favorite cars of all time, the 56 Continental Mark II. And we have not just one, but three of them. And each one of these babies was originally owned by one of the sons of Edsel Ford. And of course, restored to a level that will absolutely knock your eyes out. Oh man, I love this job. Check these babies out. Rick, man, great to see you.
Great to see you again, too.
You know, it's always fun coming down here, not just because the weather's so nice, but you always have such cool toys.
Oh, I think we've rolled out the crown jewels.
You really have. You know, I'm surrounded by more Mark IIs than any sane person should have. Continental Mark IIs, 1956. I mean, and you and your dad have now three of these babies, right?
Yes, yes.
It was about 6-8 years ago that we came down and we did the blue one.
And we did the blue one, which was the first one that we owned, and we had owned that since the early 80s. We actually purchased that for my grandfather back then.
Now, that's, I mean, Mark IIs are very special to begin with, but these three are all special, and they're all Ford family cars, right?
That one came from William Clay Ford Sr., who also owns the Detroit Lions, which is his favorite color combination, is that Honolulu blue and silver. And then Dad met up with a retired Ford executive named Edson Williams, who owned Benson Ford's Mark II, which would have been William Clay's brother.
That's the green one?
Mm-hmm, that's the green one. They never did reach a purchase agreement, but Mr. Williams passed away, and he had left word with his estate that he thought that the best home would be with the William Clay cars, so we got first right of refusal on it and managed to pick it up.
So that's two.
That's two.
Now three.
Three, this is Henry II's Mark II that he special ordered for his wife. And that was one that we had to do a little more thinking about.
It was that bad?
It was really that bad.
Wow.
Rusted to the door handles.
Wow. But you guys took it on?
Yes.
Because, I mean, these are extremely expensive cars to restore, and you certainly know that.
Yeah, we know all too well, unfortunately, and that's why you see Mark IIs here and there, but they're usually just driver conditioned because the cost of restoration is so prohibitive that it's just it kills the prospect right from the get-go.
Well, these were such special cars. I mean, this was an entire division that Ford launched in '56 to make this world-class luxury car, to take on Rolls-Royce, to take on Bentley. Well, and they were like, what? They were like 10 grand in 1956. That was two Caddies.
Three Thunderbirds.
Three Thunderbirds. Yeah. I mean, that was a pricey car.
It was really
over the top in every way. Yeah. Well, like you talk about some of the interesting design features, and it doesn't look like anything in '56. The cars were taller, they had fins, they had garish chrome everywhere. And the chrome's pretty subtle. She's a very low car, no fins. But this grille, you know, I think is stunning.
Yes, and that's all die cast,
really?
Too. Yeah.
Whoa.
Very heavy pieces, hard to chrome. That with the bumper, and you've got, you know, probably easy 150 pounds hanging over the front end just in grille and bumper alone. And
Frenched headlights, you know, and that chrome trim ring, so beautiful. And a big, long hood, 6-7 feet long, and so straight, so, you know, so flat. It's just fantastic. Now, I don't remember ever seeing one with a cloth top, though.
This was the only one built that way.
Really?
And Mr. Ford spec'd it out, and you can we've actually got the original production sheets for all these cars.
And it showed this?
It shows the canvas hearts cloth roof. Wow. It also shows the full broadcloth interior with red piping.
Well, that's the other thing, because when I think of Mark IIs, I think of Bridge of Weir leather, but this is broadcloth.
All leather was probably the most popular choice, but Mrs. Ford was probably a very elegant lady and a lady of means. She's probably used to being driven around in the back of a limousine most of her life. And if you remember pre-war limousines, the chauffeur sat on leather, but the ladies sat on wool. Yeah.
Now, is this an AC car?
Yes, all three of these cars are AC cars.
And is that, I guess that's an AC port right up there? A
Yes,
duct?
yeah. All the AC goes up through the C-pillars and is diffused through vents in the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine that when people saw these cars in magazines or viewed them in showrooms, that just had to be the wildest, most beautiful thing they'd ever looked at.
Oh, man. And, yeah, of course, it's a Continental. So it has to have this, the bump
It's got
back
the
here.
Continental hump, and there's actually a spare tire underneath that. It's not just for styling. That does make room for the
And
tire.
the exhaust comes out
Comes
through
out of the bumper.
which I love. My 56 Premier does that too. It doesn't look quite as nice as this. And the taillights are fantastic. They look brand new.
On these cars also,
Oh,
just
that's
like
right.
Cadillac
Yeah,
did,
that's how you got to the gas. Wow, yeah. Well, now these came with 368 engines. I know that William Clay had his hot rodded to a 460 in the factory. Is this one still 368?
This one's still a 368.
Oh, let's go look at that.
Okay.
Now, this one also doesn't have the hood ornament. I mean, I thought all Continentals had
you noticed that.
Continental Star. What happened?
Mrs. Ford didn't like the hood ornament.
She didn't like it.
She didn't like the hood ornament, so this one's never had it.
Well, I guess she gets to pick, doesn't she?
That's right.
We'll open up this
Okay.
ornamentless hood. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. That's as beautiful as the outside. And the Continental valve covers, I mean, those are gorgeous.
Beautiful cast valve covers. All of the wing nuts are Continental stars.
They're on the air
chrome-plated.
cleaner and on the power steering. Well, I know you guys, these cars run as good as they look. Can we take this one out and
Absolutely.
do a little exercise?
Yeah.
Let's go. Ooh. Coming up, we'll go for a spin in the Mark II, but first we'll check out some new car care products in the Eggy Speed Shop.
My Classic Car is brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance.
Well, hey, in the shop with me today is Mike Phillips from Auto Geek. How you doing, Mike?
Very good, Dennis.
Great to see you, man. You know, I do car shows. It's kind of what I do. I'll go to these shows and there's some fabulous cars and, you know, when the sun's under a cloud, it looks great. Sun comes out, all of a sudden it is like Swirl City. But you're going to tell me how to address that today, right?
That's right. We're going to talk about the Pinnacle Natural Brilliance line here. Specifically, I'm going to go over the advanced swirl mover and the finishing swirl mover. And these use diminishing abrasives, so they're very safe to use because they'll remove swirls without putting them in at the same time.
So I'm not going to put new ones in, or I'm not going to burn through the paint? I mean, is this a hand deal?
Well, the thing about modern clear coats, and this GTO here, very beautiful, but it's been repainted, has a base coat clear coat system. Clear coats are harder. It's hard to actually get the scratches out by hand. And that's where machine technology like this tool here, this is the Flex 3401, it's a forced rotation dual action polisher. And that means this buffing pad is going to oscillate under pressure, but it won't generate heat, so it won't burn the paint and it won't put swirls in.
Back in. Now, you got orange, but you got all these colors. Is it just personal preference? I'm a green guy, you know.
Now, good question. These pads come in varying levels of aggressiveness, or if you look at the blue and the red pad, they're so soft, sometimes in the morning I even put my makeup on.
Oh, lovely. Oh, yeah, and you look marvelous. Absolutely
so
marvelous. Now, what do we have here? I mean, basically a ray gun, or?
Actually, what this is called is a swirl finder light. It's a flashlight that detailers would use to look for swirls and also check their work. And the way you use it is you hold it about 1.5 feet off the finish and then shine it right down so the light bounces back at your eyes and it'll reveal the swirls just like the sun.
That's the sun coming out from under the cloud.
It's a great handy little tool to inspect your work and to make sure you got a swirl-free finish.
Cool. Well, enough talk. Let's have some action.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a tape line here, and then I'm going to work on just 1/2 of the paint here. And then when I'm done, we'll pull the tape off and look at the before and after results.
Can't wait.
Okay, let's do it. The first thing we're going to use is the advanced swirl mover.
Okay.
And it'll take out most of the swirls, most of the deeper stuff. And I'm going to put down a little bead here, just like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that bead up with the 3401 here.
All right, makes sense.
Now that I've picked up my bead, I'm just going to go ahead and massage this into the paint using overlapping motions. Then after a few passes, take a clean microfiber towel and then just come down and gently wipe that off.
Wow. That's like a mirror finish.
So I'm going to switch out pads, and for this I'm actually going to use this white polishing pad. It's a
Less
lot
aggressive?
softer, a lot less aggressive.
All right.
This uses a Velcro interface, so all you want to do is just line it up, and you don't have to get it perfect, you just want it to be close. Tap it on, ready to go. Okay, for this, I'm going to use the advanced finishing polish.
Okay.
This is just going to refine the results, bring up the clarity of the clear coat. Let me give that a shake. And again, I just want to take and lay down a little strip, or what we call a bead of product.
All right, same thing, pretty much same technique, same amount.
Same technique. And this is called picking up your bead. And down. Once I pick it up, lay the polisher flat. Turn it off. Never lift the pad off until it's slowed down, so you don't throw splatter everywhere.
Makes sense.
And then we don't let that dry, so just take, again, a clean microfiber towel, come down here, gently wipe that off. So whenever you pull tape off, you always want to pull back at an angle. Don't pull it straight up.
Safer for the paint?
Safer for the paint, just to be careful. Throw finder light.
Man, that's amazing. So, am I done now?
Actually, this is just the swirl removal step. The next thing would be to seal up your work by putting a coat of wax on it. For that, we'd use the Pinnacle Sovereign Carnauba Paste Wax.
This baby over here?
That's right.
Well, you know, it's amazing what you did here. I just can't believe it.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty simple and safe.
Yeah, that's the other cool thing about it. Safe, very important.
Yes.
Hey, if you want to learn anything more about this great line of Pinnacle products and how to get the swirls out of your paint job, log on to myclassiccar.com. Okay, Mike, now, still the other half of this trunk here.
Well, since I did one half, how about you do the other half?
You know, I saw that coming.
For a complete selection of nostalgic performance products, cruise over to EggySpeedShop.com.
Next, we're cruising in a Continental Mark II. Welcome back to My Classic Car. They made right around 3,000 of these.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. They started production after the car debuted in October at the Auto Salon in Paris. And between October 55 and New Year's, January 1st, they produced about 1,300 of them. For January through the following August, another 1,300, and then they did 444 1957 models. They lost money on each one until the whole entire project was canceled, and the entire division, the Continental division, was shuttered.
In a mere 2 years.
Yes.
Wow. And to this day, it's considered, even by automotive designers, as one of the prettiest cars ever built. How long was the restoration for this?
3 years.
Really? Wow.
3 years.
Did you guys see it through that process, or did you go visit it?
Yes. We were constantly accumulating parts and fabrics, materials that were needed as it went along. Almost 3,000 hours went into this car.
Really?
Of labor, yes.
Holy cow.
And as such, you can just see why somebody would just stop right there.
Yeah.
What?
Or 1,000 or so before that.
Right. Unless you're going to do it yourself and you've got a whole lot of time on your hands.
And you're really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, driving a sleek black Continental Mark II makes you feel pretty, you know, pretty stately and everything. But I got to tell you, I am looking forward to driving the green one. That sucker is just, that thing is beautiful.
Yeah, this car has a very serious
Yeah.
kind of banker's car
yeah.
attitude to it. We're on our way to the board meeting on Wall
Right.
Street. The green car is hey, I've retired, I'm a multi-millionaire, and I'm going golfing. Life is good. It's that kind of car.
Need parts for your ride? Then check out this week's Classic Car Marketplace.
AutoGeek.net has everything you need to keep your vehicle looking its best. Mothers, Meguiar's, 3M, Pinnacle, just to name a few. AutoGeek.net carries over 60 brands and thousands of items. Our selection is huge, our prices are low, our expert staff can answer any question you have, and we ship right to your door. AutoGeek.net. We are car care. For superior chrome plating, call Paul's Chrome Plating. They'll go that extra mile to achieve flawless show-quality results on all your chrome parts. Paul specializes in chrome plating pot metal as well as steel, aluminum, and plastic parts. Try Paul's Chrome Plating today for all your chroming needs. Call 800-245-8679 or visit us online at paulschrome.com. Our friends at Luminite have an amazing new product. No more struggling with a handheld work light underneath your car. Check this out. It's Lift Light. Magnetic LED strips that give you full illumination at the touch of a button, which means both hands are free to work. It's so easy to install. Just pop it in place. Get yours at LuminiteTransportation.com.
Still ahead, we'll check out another gorgeous Continental Mark II. Welcome back to My Classic Car. I love driving Continentals. I love the Mark II. But I tell you, and that is a fabulous car. But I'm a sucker for green cars. And when I saw this car, you showed it at Lake Muir Classic.
Yes.
And I saw
Last
that
year.
thing, and it blew me away. This is gorgeous.
Well, you know, it was funny. We were restoring both this green car and the Black Henry II at the same time. And everybody was visualizing that the black car with the cloth roof and the broadcloth with the red accent interior was just going to be the showstopper of the two. And when it's all said and done, this green car is the rock star. Whenever we take all three cars out together,
It's a total rock star.
Yeah.
It's a great green. What is it?
It's green lucite metallic.
So kind of not a very
fancy
evocative name or anything, but it sure looks good on the car. And the fact that it is metallic is you get, when the sun highlights it, you get these these flares almost coming out.
It just really makes all of the different subtle creases and lines on the car really pop and show off the styling.
Yeah, and I think that's true, because I think the black car almost hides some of those, but with the metallic paint, it highlights every crease, every character line this car has. But then it's the interior, Rick. I mean, the interior
taken in with the exterior paint, it's just the car is an absolute beautiful thing to look at.
This is a complete fashion statement. There's got to be at least 4 different greens in there. But and now again, this is a combination. The other was broadcloth. Like I said, I typically thought of these as all leather, but this is leather
with a basket weave fabric insert. And this car was really the most challenging in sourcing all of the materials to do the interior correctly with. We had to have the insert, the weaved insert, custom woven.
Really?
Custom loomed, because no reproduction exists, so we had that made to match, and it matches perfectly to the original books. We had to have the headliner material custom woven, because nothing in the aftermarket, nothing was being reproduced that
Is
came.
it cloth?
And it's a woven nylon.
Really?
My father worked for so many months back and forth, thumbs downing on samples and demanding other samples, that some of the manufacturers that we were dealing with and did walk away from the project, gave up, and then Dad would go on to the next one and say, okay, are you ready for me? Because here's what I want.
And here I come. But it's just, man, I mean, it's just...
This car was actually in very nice original shape when we received it from Mr. Williams' estate, but Dad he wanted to have the 3 cars freshly done and restored to the highest standards, so apart it went.
And they are. Okay.
And it made a good pattern for the black car that we bought in pieces. This showed us how to put the other one back together.
You really knew after this. Now, the black one had the original 368 in it.
Yes.
The William Clay's had the upgraded 460.
460 that was installed in '68, but Benson was way ahead of his brother. He was the first one to hot rod his Lincoln, and this one was upgraded in 1958 and fitted with a 430 Lincoln engine,
which was kind of that was the top of the line Lincoln
back then. That was the top of the line back then. So.
Let's go look at that, baby.
All right.
So apparently Benson didn't have an aversion to the hood ornament.
No, he didn't have an aversion to the hood ornament, so this one's fully ornamented.
Wow, chromed out too.
Yeah, chrome valve covers and air cleaner.
Did he have it done that way?
That was all done at the time.
Wow. Now that actually almost looks like a physically larger engine, or is it the same block just punched out?
No, it's not the same block. The 430 was a different series of engines. So.
Well, I would look really good driving this.
You would.
I would look fabulous.
You'd look right at home.
Let's take this baby out too.
Let's do it.
Stay close. We'll fire up this Mark II and go for a ride.
Brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance, and by U-Coat It, the official floor coating of the Eggy Speed Shop.
Welcome back to My Classic Car. Wow. Now this is a cool car.
I know, it's like you hopped into a completely different type of car with the color change.
It changes the whole personality of the car. It's no longer a banker's car. This had to be kind of a shocking, car to be tooling around in 1956. it just reminds me of pistachio ice cream.
Yeah.
And not the low-fat version.
No.
The full-fat.
The full-fat.
Full-fat pistachio ice cream.
Who would have figured that the pistachio green Mark II would be the one that the crowd just gravitates to while the other two cars are parked right next to it. So.
But it does, and I think, you know, I think you could tell people about it, and they would probably rank it third.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see it, and I think it is the combination. I mean, it's striking from the outside, but this interior is just so over the top, I think.
Yep.
That the combination of the two it just comes together as one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen.
It all came together beautiful.
And you know, the other thing that's kind of interesting, because the instrumentation is the same in all these, and the faces are the same.
Yes.
But in this car, the color of the face is almost the color of the rest of the interior. It's like it was made for this color.
Mm-hmm.
It's all completely color coordinated. They really ride so beautifully, don't they?
Yeah, they do. There's no mistaking how much that you're tooling around in a 2-ton flagship.
It's heavy metal.
The proportions of this car are absolutely absurd. It's a 2-door car with a not terribly large rear seat.
No, not a big passenger
on an
compartment.
enormous scale.
I love this car, man. I just love this car. Life is good. Oh man, what a fantastic day in a couple fantastic cars. I love coming down here because Rick and his dad have such cool machines and they let me drive them. Wait till you see what we take out next time. Next week, we'll travel to Hawkesbury, Ontario for Auto Expo. You'll see what happens when hundreds of cool cars descend upon a small Canadian town. You never know what you'll see at these north of the border shows. Plus, we'll take a look at peel and stick weather stripping for your ride. So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.
Attention, My Classic Car fans. Go online now to see Dennis with his mustache down in a really cool series about motorcycle touring in spectacular locations around the world. Check out Trippin' on Two Wheels and order your DVD set today.